So today we're going to do it a little out of order because I somehow deleted the introduction to this video, so I got to go back to the box and do it all over again. So Sandland is at first it was a manga book or a comic book, and then it was a movie, and then it was a TV show, and it's a video game. So this particular model kit just came out this year in 2024, probably to celebrate either the TV series or the video game. 1/35 is common scale for a lot of armor, tanks, and stuff like that. The box has a lot of features here to discuss. You can pause and read that. So you got some moving parts. It's around 110 millimeters tall. This is a cutaway if you want to detail it a lot, but it's not like that in the model kit, which you'll see in a moment. Okay, and then it's got 3 figures in a little base, and here's the problem I run into. This is that Ecopla plastic. So this plastic is mixed with something else, some sort of, to help reduce plastic waste. So I want to talk about that. This yellow stuff is brittle. After I put it together, it broke in 3 different spots. 4? 3? At least 3, if not 4. Something about this plastic. It's just, it wants to break apart by itself. I don't know. Of course, it's not doing it now. But it did. You'll see it on the model kit. I don't know if all this stuff is Ecopla. It seems like a normal model kit when you put it together, but as I was weathering it, I noticed like parts are just broken from the tension or something. So I don't like this Ecopla stuff because it's making a substandard model. Let's look at the instruction manual here. There's a little blurb there about something. Anti-gravity stones. Interesting. Okay, so you can see this is just all weathered up by someone at Bandai. Here are the 3 characters, and I guess blurbs about the characters. Son of Lucifer, Sheriff, and some sort of demon. Okay. So here, if you want, they give you some good tips on how to weather it. Seems a better job than I did. Oh well, anyways, yeah, it looks nice. This is actually probably a good candidate to do like some paint chipping, using salt and hairspray, because it's quite large. And then here's someone took a lot of time doing up to that interior, but I will not be doing so. And then a whole bunch of paint recommendations. So you can see pretty simple characters, but good color separation. The interior, unfortunately, is a lot of dark plastics. Very unlike what this person did. I don't know why they didn't mold the interior in light gray or white even, so it'd be easier to paint and get details out of it. But anyway, so like other Bandai things, it's no glue is necessary usually, but as I mentioned, the Ecopla stuff broke, so you will have to glue some parts. I don't know, you can bend the flagpole, maybe that's the metal one. There's a lot of weird random things here. I guess putting the decals on. And here it's all black and white. What parts you should have in the box, and then just building it up. One thing I will mention is when I built the treads identically, but you can't do that. So luckily you can just flip the tracks around, and then they'll both be facing the same direction. You notice there's some more weathering tips here at the bottom. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start with the base here. So it's a standard Gundam base, but then you snap on this like sand thing. I matte clear coated this so it looks less shiny, and it's got these plumes of sand. The lettering is quite interesting. It came on this foil thick sticker, but then the lettering's blue, so I'm not sure why they would waste a foil sticker if you're not going to use translucent blue. It's kind of weird. But anyways, it's nice because the letters, this blue stuff, lays into this black plastic perfectly. It was very easy to put in the letters, and I don't think they're going to fall off because they're recessed. So it's a pretty cool stand. Interesting. It also came with a little extra bit if you want to somehow mate it to another Gundam stand. Although I don't know why. Maybe they plan to do other kit things from the Sandland later. Alright, so let's look at the model kit here and a couple issues. So I used the water slide decals, and but it did come with the really thin stickers as well. These silver ones are for the headlights, but it's impossible to actually use them properly, I think. So I just ended up tearing one, and then I used silver paint inside the headlights. But the flag, I did use the stickers, and on the interior you can put these 3 stickers there. So these are nice for our backup, you know, but seeing how I clear coated this, I don't think the decals will fall off. So let me point out, well, first, here's a steel rod antenna. I put the flexible plastic one on. But you see here, let me change the camera angle here, so it's a little too bright. So one area where this yellow Ecopla broke, I can't focus, come on. It's right here. The tension of this antenna in this hole caused it to crack there and on the other side. So I didn't do anything wrong, it just cracked. I decided to remove the exhaust so I could rust them with some texture, and after removing it I noticed right here, this cracked right here. The other side hasn't cracked, thankfully, so that just cracked on its own. This hook here also just cracked off. No reason, I didn't even hit it, it just fell out. It broke away from its pins, so that's really strange. So those are the 3 things that cracked on me for no apparent reason. It's really bad, this Ecopla stuff. Leave a comment if you've had similar things, you know, with your other Ecopla kits, if they just crack for no reason. Oh, 2 more spots, these 2 things. I don't know which what they were. There's 4 things here. And I just friction fit them in. There's no glue or anything. And then 2 of them just fell off for no reason because they were stressed out again. So any sort of stress on this plastic just causes it to crack. So I ended up crazy gluing the things back on. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instances of parts falling off. I'm sure it's not going to be the end. I wouldn't be surprised if other parts just crack off for no reason with this Ecopla stuff. Not good. Okay, so anyways, I don't know. It's just a spare part, I guess. I ended up drilling out this area. I feel like that thing is supposed to be an antenna stub. So I have a Hot Wheels axle going into that thing after I drilled it out, and then I painted it black. The turret here will rotate. Before that, let me just, the hatch will open as well. I did clear coat it a bunch of times, but yeah, so, but the thing is, there's no character really you can put in there unless you remove the pants of the character. I didn't bother painting the character. I'm not going to display this thing open. But you can open the doors. Hold on, I'm going to need some poster putty in a moment. But let's finish the turret, I guess. Alright, so this thing will go up and down, and then it will rotate, but I'm afraid something's going to crack again. It was also a pretty tight fit before I clear coated it. See, there's a lot of tension. It's pretty tight, but let's see if I can get it off. Okay, well, no. So it's interesting, you know, it's the back of the gun, the loading area, does move with the barrel. And then there is a seat here, but there's no actual person to go into that seat. So, interesting. But yeah, you saw how tight it is. But that tightness is what's keeping the thing together. So, I guess I'll just open the door this way. This door doesn't really want to stay open. It seems like it should. Like, you can move this pivot in a little bit, but it doesn't want to stay open for some reason. Let me see if I can get it there. Maybe if I pull it out like that. Alright, it will stay open. And so you can also do that on this side. If you really took the time, you know, you could detail the interior, maybe put a little LED in there, and then you'd have a really cool diorama. Let me get the front one open. With all three hatches, you can actually see in there a decent amount, but a flashlight's obviously going to help us out. So I did a really crude effort of just adding some paint marker stuff in there. Those look like ammo racks there, ammo canisters, and some water or fuel jugs there I painted yellow. Over there on the floor is one of those stickers on 2 kegs of something. I don't know, I don't know the franchise. It says it's got some text on it. There are some like tanks up here, and there's some tanks and like coat hangers there. Okay. And then above the door there's like a grab handle panel sort of thing. And then we have a character already there, and the main character Beelzebub there driving the thing. So this old guy, I don't know what the person's name is, can sit in 2 positions. He's got 1 peg and there's 2 holes to position him. So you can put him in this hole here, and he's kind of like looking out the door. Boy, this is not easy though. With only 1 peg, I guess you can rotate him. Yeah, so you can do this. You can have him like looking out the door or something if I didn't rotate him enough. And then in the other position, yeah, there's another peg hole by his foot, and so it just moves all the way in, and then you can close the door. Okay, so yeah, I did add some marker details, a few buttons here and there, over there as well. So it's actually a really nicely molded interior. You can see hoses or wiring on the side panels. Okay, so actually this is a good time to actually pull off the front end. So if you want, you can remove the whole front end, and then you have a really open diorama, right? So I guess I'll get this guy back out of here. Pop him into this hole here. I ended up gluing this guy together because moving the person around the holes kept on falling apart. So I don't know, though. It's kind of weird though. He's like looking over at the door or something like that. And so I suppose you could actually put the turret back on. I think you still have to key it in. Yeah, so you have like an open diorama, and yeah, if you wanted to, it could be really detailed, but you're gonna have to paint stuff a little bit better. I kind of feel like it would have been better if they used a lighter gray, but this plastic is so dark, right? This is a really dark brown, and that's a pretty dark gray. If they were really light colored, you know, you'd be able to see more without much paint. So I'm not sure why they chose to do that, but maybe in the cartoon it's really dark or something. Alright, so anyways, the characters, you know, it's nice that they have different color separation parts and all that stuff, but you're going to have to paint the eyes, the goggles, and stuff, and the hair to really make them look nice, but I'm not going to bother because, again, I'm just going to display the tank closed. The headlights are nice, though, because they have clear lenses, so that's neat. The tracks will not move, by the way. They're actually composed of several parts that kind of snap together. So that's what's simulating the sagging. What's weird is there's actually a top track that sags, but you can't see it because it's covered by the skirt completely. So they molded that part really for no reason, I think. So you might ask, why does this thing look all scratched up, whereas the box art does not? So if you didn't watch my build, I used a soldering iron, and so, you know, when bullets or, you know, enemy fire hits a tank, that thing's like penetrating, creating a lot of heat, or ricocheting, and basically like melting and warping the metal. So I thought a soldering iron would be the easiest way to actually simulate scraping against objects, or some really deep things, you know, colliding into something. And then the smaller ones might be like machine gun fire. I tried to just tap it in a way that would look like a machine gun fire, like here, you know, kind of random but kind of in a line as well. Some of the deeper ones, like maybe these could have been like anti-tank fire. I didn't put a really big hole in there. I guess that's one of them, but because I was afraid to actually punch a hole through the whole plastic because it's not that thick, and the soldering iron is pretty hot. So yeah, so after I soldering ironed all the scratches and bullet marks, then I went over them with silver paint. Wow, that is so tight. So I put some gunmetal paint into all those recesses, so that looks, I think, more realistic, like it went through the paint and I was showing the raw metal. And then I have some Tamiya paint washes around the welding lines, and then I have this AK Interactive rust that I dragged down, you know, to look like years of rust. A whole bunch of I think Mr. Hobby mud, 3 different colors packed on there, some more rust around the bolt heads, some texture Mr. Hobby stuff, and then rust on here to really make the exhaust look rusty. Some brown paint washes in there, I assume that's an exhaust. And I think, yeah, that's really it. And then just a yellow acrylic paint wash all over the thing when I was finished. I feel like maybe I could have done a couple more washes, but then it would lose its very bright yellow vibrancy. So I decided to just leave it. Yeah, so here's the original yellow. Yeah, so you can see it's a little bit darker now. Okay. Let us compare it to some other tanks. So the first logical one is the Band Presto figure. So this is like some sort of PVC figure. It's like almost solid plastic. It's really heavy, but the figure doesn't come out or anything like that, but everything's already painted, so it looks nice. Although it doesn't look weathered at all, right? You know, the headlights are just white. It's obviously smaller. It's less detailed, but I don't think it's gonna break. You know, even these are all flexible pieces. So, whereas this, if this ever fell on the floor, I bet a lot of parts would shatter because this Ecopla stuff again. So it's quite small, and then also the wheels don't have air passing through them like the model kit does. Alright, but anyways, that's a comparison of that. I really bought these because I've been building the Meng World War II's tanks. So this is a heavy tank called the Pershing, a US tank. And now you can see it'll fit with both of them, actually. You know, I think they could all fit in their own little cartoon tank universe. Although bear in mind, I mean, these characters would be really small. I mean, this is like a living room on top of a tank, it seems. Although looking at the character, I suppose that character could fit in the hatch of that thing. But I'm going to leave it where it is. Then we have a Trumpeter made some cartoon tanks. This is a Sturmtiger, which would be classified as a heavy tank, but you can see it's smaller than a Pershing. So it's a little bit smaller in scale than the World War II's. But I think, again, it can work. Okay, and then the last one is another Meng, and this is a British Matilda II tank. So this is classified as a medium-sized tank. And so yeah, I mean, I guess all of them could fit in their own little tank diorama of cartoonness. So I think it works. The only thing that's really, I guess, weird is this one, because the character's so huge, you know, compared to everything. But if you ignore the character, you know, the tank, I think, fits in fine. But this character's glued in. I suppose if you tried hard enough, you could rip it out, but I'm not going to bother. I like it the way it is. Alright, well, I guess it's a scaling there if you want to, you know, try this out and you already have some cartoon tanks. Or maybe you already have this and you want to think about getting some of these. I really like these tuned out tanks. So let's let this thing go for a spin. I thought about airbrushing this a little bit, but I decided not to. I don't know if I'm going to actually leave it on this display. I will say it fits nicely. See that cloud resting around there, and this resting around here. Not much of a gap, so you can't see the hollow backside. So I think that looks, it's actually pretty nice. Maybe I will keep this thing. Yeah, that flag really makes it quite tall. So it's quite an interesting design. It's like a giant egg living room command center on top of a tank chassis. But it still has a normal turret, I guess. And the side hatches are pretty interesting. I don't know anything about this franchise. I haven't watched it or played the video game. So if anyone has, maybe leave a comment. What are these 4 things? Are they to hold water or fuel? That's what I'm curious about. Why is there just a gear sticking out one side but not the other? And is this a golf putting, like a golf putter? Because the flag looks like the flag of a golf, hole. So does one of these characters like to play golf in the desert? Maybe the old guy? I don't know. Oh, one last bit I forgot is the periscope here. If you twist it, it can, go down, but I'm going to leave it in the up position. I'm afraid to move it because I'm afraid it'll break. Maybe I'll add a chain to this stuff later because these rings are quite large. So, okay, well anyways, an interesting model kit, an interesting design. If they ever maybe port the game to like mobile, maybe I'd try it out on my phone. But I don't have a PlayStation or Xbox, or I don't feel like buying a PC game. But appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next cartoon tank video. But bear in mind this Ecopla stuff. Again, if you have comments about Ecopla, please let me know. I'm wondering if I should avoid all Ecopla Bandai model kits now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.